Ardbeg Scorch versus Laphroaig Cairdeas Pedro Jimenez casks. Which 2021 special edition Islay single malt Scotch whiskey should your Christmas money go to? Stay tuned for the Whiskey Whistle. Greetings, my whiskey freaks. Mark here from Whiskey Whistle on YouTube, sharing a little whiskey awesomeness from Winnipeg, the center of North America. Bringing you another two-up, this time of Islay single malt Scotch whiskeys, 2021 special editions. We've got Ardbeg Scorch right over here. And then we have Laphroaig Cairdeas Pedro Jimenez casks right over there. So the two of these, they are probably the most sought after amongst Islay single malt Scotch whiskey nuts around this time of year, at least in Canada. So let's get these poured. We'll check out the color, of course, and the legs, and then we'll check out the nose, the palate, and the finish for each of these with water and without, and then give each of them a Whiskey Whistle whiskey score and talk about, well, where you should spend your money. All right, well, let's get these poured. First of all, I'm going to start with the Ardbeg Scorch. Named such because they're using heavily charred ex-bourbon barrels here. So that's probably char level number 5 or maybe 6 or maybe 7 alligator char. Let's get that poured. This is natural in color and it's unchill filtered. And look how dark that is. My goodness. Okay, beautiful. Oh, and I could smell the smoke and the embers and the peat coming right from the bottle. Lovely. So that's 46% ABV. They also have a committee release bottle, which is higher proof, I think about 51.5%. If you're on the Ardbeg committee, then you can get yourself, well, I think you got to put your name kind of like in a list, and they pick names, or they just release them at 9 o'clock in the morning and it's just first come, first serve. But anyway, so if you'd like something stronger than that, then you check out that Ardbeg committee, all right? Okay, let's get the Laphroaig Cairdeas Pedro Jimenez casks poured. This is cask strength. So that's going to be one limiter here in comparing the two of these. But we'll start and, oh yeah. Whew. We'll start and finish the Ardbeg first, and then we'll get into the Laphroaig. Let's get that poured. There we go. Looks good. Now, we probably have some color added here with the Laphroaig. That's a Beam Suntory kind of a practice. It'd be so nice if they would do away with that. Let me just make sure that I'm not talking through my butt here. Yeah, I believe there is color added there. Now, I mentioned that the Ardbeg was matured in heavily charred ex-bourbon barrels. How about Laphroaig Cairdeas? What went on here? And I'll just read this here. So, Cairdeas is, Cairdeas 2021 is triple matured. The first maturation is in first fill American oak ex-bourbon barrels. The second in American oak ex-bourbon quarter casks, and finally finished in European oak hogsheads, originally containing PX sherry. Well, super awesome. We have European oak involved here. That's fabulous. All right, so color, first of all. What a nice light color we have for Ardbeg. It's a little bit darker than Ardbeg 10. Maybe it is about twice as dark. It's right up around the amber midpoint. Maybe -1. And then we have this very, very dark Laphroaig. And yes, again, that might be color enhanced. All right. Next, we'll check out the legs of both of these. My guess is going to be that Ardbeg will have better legs because it's closer to the 48% magic number for highest viscosity of an alcohol-water mixture. Cask content, we probably have similar cask content here, so let's check that out together. Turn it to the side. So the Ardbeg legs came down pretty quick. That just could be the higher ABV. We have slower legs going on with Ardbeg. The legs of the Cairdeas are tighter, whereas the legs of the Ardbeg are a little bit fatter, but very slow legs. They're both doing very well here. Very nice. So we should expect some good mouthfeel here. I think especially we have the heavily charred barrels acting on the Ardbeg, and we have those European oak barrels acting on the Laphroaig for their third maturation. All right, well, we'll get into Ardbeg right away, but why don't you subscribe to Whiskey Whistle right now? Click that little link right here and hit the bell as well. Ding, ding, so you're notified of future Whiskey Whistles. And if you're enjoying this video, and if you're watching a lot of Whiskey Whistle, and you like what I do, then why not jump in and support me on Patreon, patreon.com/whiskywhistle. And as a thank you, you'll get your name in the credits at the end of the video. You'll also get advanced viewing of future Whiskey Whistles. Last but not least, you'll get a chance to get your own Whiskey Whistle glasses with about $3 or $4 of contribution. There we go. Okay, so Ardbeg Scorch. What do we have here? Let's give that a whiff. Well, it's really interesting. It's got the energy of Ardbeg 10, and yet it's got this really elegant kind of softness, kind of sweetness, kind of spicy, perfumed edge to it. We've got a lot of baking spices here. We also have a lot of oak spice. We have some straight up cedar sauna. The coals are so hot that some of the cedar wood around those stones are starting to singe a little bit. So you got that little bit of a smokiness coming through there. And I would think this would be really, really smoky, but interestingly, that char has done two things. It's added some sweetness, and then also the char, by the fact that it is active carbon, has done something subtractive. And I think we're getting something that is something you would expect in much older Islay single malts, much older Ardbeg. And then deep down there, you've got some fruits. You've got some seared pineapple. You have some burning mango stones. I might try that. And you've got straight up vanilla pods. The whole pods. This is really, 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 really good. Okay, cheers. So, wow. Beautiful. This is ideal. This is so interesting. It's kind of like the effect of virgin oak, charred virgin American oak. And yet you got this supremely toffee, caramelly, salted caramel, smoked caramel type of a flavor coming through. Much, much sweeter than Ardbeg 10. Ardbeg 10 is practically dry as a bone with just a little kiss of sweetness to help you kind of acclimatize to that level of smoke. And I'm guessing we have a lot of dissolved natural sugars coming from those casks. And it's taking the 46% that's unchill filtered and it's natural in color. And it's almost as if it's 43%. It's very, very, very sippable. It's not harsh. It's not strong. The smokiness builds in your mouth, but it's very much a toasting, smoldering type of a fire, type of a burn, rather than an actual fire. Now, don't get me wrong. This is full-on Islay Peat. This is like whatever 55 ppm in the new make, in the Peat. Pardon me. But it's a real, for lack of a better word, very sultry, smooth type of peat. A little bit of pipe tobacco wafting in the air, vanilla flavored. I should say vanilla cased. Oh yeah, very, very tobacco-y. Unburnt pipe tobacco. A little bit of burnt pipe tobacco. Some tobacco smoke in there. That cedar still coming through on the palate. I think this is almost perfect as it is at bottle strength, but I mean, I have to add a little bit of water because I'd like to know, and I'd like you to know, what's going on here. I didn't put much because, again, I think we're already at perfection. So I'm almost expecting that this will degrade it somewhat. All right, so the nose with water for Ardbeg Scorch. You can get a little bit more fruit and a little bit more creaminess. And it's just that big, big vanilla pod. Madagascar vanilla. And then you've got your pipe smoking uncle or grandpa right next door as you're eating this pudding. And he's just enjoying his pipe, and it's just wafting through the house. And there you are eating your pudding, your vanilla, Madagascar vanilla pudding. Some fried ice cream. Have you had that? A little bit of fried ice cream. That delicious, I don't know if that's a real Mexican treat or if that's just a fake Mexican treat. But again and again and again, I'm getting this really, really interesting pipe tobacco. And the water has maybe coaxed out some more vanilla and maybe softened up some of the smoke. All right, the palate. Cheers. Very silky mouthfeel with water added. A lot more regular, I shouldn't say regular, original 10-year-old Ardbeg coming through with water. That lemoniness is coming through now, the lemon pith, citrus peel. The smoke is still very, very much in the vicinity and not really the focal point of the flavor. But I love what this is bringing to the table, and I really think that these heavily charred ex-bourbon barrels need more use in Ardbeg standard products. So There's a few things that I've found in the last few years with Ardbeg that I think that I would love Ardbeg to continue to use, and these are the what is it? The Dead Sea oak, Dead Sea vicinity oak. That was in Kelpie. I think the rum casks work very well too, and the extra charred, heavily charred American oak ex-bourbon also are excellent. Well, let's get on to the WhiskyWhistle whiskey score for Ardbeg Scorch. Yes, preemptive malt hug. And a nice little malt kiss. Very excellent. Okay, so let's get on to the WhiskyWhistle whiskey score for Ardbeg Scorch. What is that going to be, folks? It's going to be 91 out of 100. You heard it, 91 out of 100 is the WhiskyWhistle whiskey score for Ardbeg Scorch. And I think if you're an Ardbeg fan, this is a must. If you are an occasional peat lover and you like it in the winter and you want something that's super unique and super, let's say, I don't want to use the word high end, but you know, it's a treat. This is a treat bottle, and I think that would be a great winter treat, whether it's for Christmas or Hanukkah or whatever you celebrate. You can treat yourself and enjoy that bottle. Share it with your friends, and I think they'll be just so surprised with this. So 91 points. And now it's time to get into the cask strength Laphroaig Cairdeas Pedro Jimenez casks. Here we go. Well, isn't that interesting? This as well. You would think that the peat would be screaming out of the glass here, but it really isn't. And those European XPX casks are really the forefront of the flavor here, the scents. We've got delicate puffs of smoke coming out. And then we've got these beautiful red berries. And similarly, some kind of a red fruit flavored scented pipe tobacco. I guess it's a pipe tobacco kind of a day here for me. This is really dominated by these XPX casks. We've got raspberry, we've got fresh strawberry, we've got some golden berry. A little bit of blackberry too. Great. All right, onto the palate. Cheers. Wow. For a split second, you forget that you're drinking peaty Islay single malt Scotch whiskey. You go, oh, it's a sherry bomb. It's a sherry bomb. This is a sherry bomb. This is an Islay sherry bomb. Wow. This is the most extreme sherry flavored, sherry influenced Islay whiskey I've ever tried. And the European oak is bringing some spice, a little bit of baking spice, again, nutmeg, a little bit of cinnamon, but the PX content, I would almost think that this was like Paxarette soaked, pressure soaked casks. little bit of Coca-Cola, some Dr. Pepper, some great fruitiness in there. Still, we got the raspberry, the blackberry, hint of strawberry and goldenberry. It's got the perfect mix of tartness and sweetness, and it's making me get a little bit of eyebrow sweat, like I always do when I have something that is sweet and yet also sour. And it's 58.9%. I forgot to mention the proof. It's cask strength. It's 58.9%, and it tastes like it's 49. It is just so sippable and drinkable at bottle proof, at cask strength. All you have to do is adjust the size of your sip. The finish is long and sweet, and tobacco puffs of smoke. Surprisingly, both of these are not decidedly smoky. They're not decidedly peaty. And I think that non-peat lovers, I mean, if you can handle a little bit of peat, and by little, I mean like typical amounts like Springbank and what else? Ben Riach and some Tom and Towel, and you know, just all these companies that have a little bit of peat in the background. But anyway, my point is here. I mean, these are the juggernauts. These are the muscle of Islay. These are like The Rock, Dwayne Johnson. Imagine him dressed in a white tuxedo with frills. It's fancy. These are fancy whiskeys. Muscle and yet also style. All right, so with water, what do we get here for Laphroaig Cairdeas ex Pedro Jimenez casks? You get some juniper. You get a little bit of burning pine and cedar. The smoke is coming through a little bit here, but the red PX flavors, the strawberry, the raspberry, that goldenberry, the blackberry, still very prominent here. But it's beginning to show its Laphroaiginess. So that's cool. Yeah, I'm getting that burning kind of cedar, piney, deciduous type of tree here. A little bit of original mint toothpaste. And a little hint of clove. Again, very spicy. That European oak really acting well on this Laphroaig. All right, the palate with water. Cheers. This really interesting mix of fruitiness, of forest originating flavors like the juniper, some burning pine needles. There's a tiny little bit of a very fresh laid asphalt in there, adding that little bit of smokiness. Personally, I prefer it neat, but it is a little bit interesting with water that we get this re-emergence of the DNA of Laphroaig into this Cairdeas ex Pedro Jimenez casks. That's kind of a mouthful. Okay, well, it's that time. Let's get on to the WhiskyWhistle whiskey score for Laphroaig Cairdeas ex Pedro Jimenez casks. Malt hug. Oh my goodness. Yes. Yes. And a big full frontal kiss. Mwah. Wow. Goodness sakes. Well, so the WhiskyWhistle whiskey score, what is that going to be, folks? It's going to be 93 out of 100. You heard it, 93 out of 100 is the WhiskyWhistle whiskey score for Laphroaig Cairdeas ex Pedro Jimenez casks. 93 points. And, you know, again, it's like half the price. You got $100 here or whatever it is, and then this is like 200. Or it could be 110. I can't quite remember. But that's a big jump in price. We've got cask strength over here. We've got, I mean, proofed 46% over here. This is very good. It's 91 points. It's solid. Ardbeg fans, you should get it. I like the flavor. It's very interesting. But, I mean, on this table, at this point in time, this is the clear winner here. And if you're going to get one bottle of peated Islay single malt Scotch whiskey this winter, this is the guy you're looking for. You better chase it quick because they're going fast. It's already sold out in Manitoba. And this is a place where these Laphroaig Cairdeas used to sit on the shelves for a few months. These were gone within the first day, I believe. So get yourself a bottle of that. If you want two, by all means, these are amazing. And I love the flavor coming in from that heavily charred ex-bourbon casks here. Sweet, delicious, very nice. But then you got this popping, jumping flavor here. It's just jumping out of the glass. Kapow. Delicious. Well, so 91 points for Ardbeg Scorch, 93 points for Laphroaig Cairdeas ex Pedro Jimenez casks. If you tried these both, let me know your thoughts in the comments below. Are you after the Ardbeg? Are you after the Laphroaig? Which way are you going? Or are you going to try to get both? Have you got both already? Did you stock up? Did you get a case of each? Let's share. Let's talk. I can't wait to hear from you. Thanks for watching. My name is Mark, and we'll see you next time.